Chelsea just smashed 3 goals past Champions League winners PSG to become world champions. But what makes this story insane is that almost no one believed they'd even make it this far.
I'm scared for the young boys of Chelsea because that could be a lesson.
Stuck between 2-1 and 3-1. They can score as we've seen, but I'll go 2-1 to PSG.
So how did Enzo Maresca take a team no one rated and turn them into the best club in the world? Let's break it all down. Before we talk about how Enzo Maresca turned Chelsea into world champions, we need to rewind a bit. Because not long ago, this club was a complete mess. Back in May 2022, Chelsea's longtime owner Roman Abramovich was forced to hand over the club due to government sanctions linked to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. In came Todd Boehly, and that's when things really got chaotic. He sacked Thomas Tuchel, the guy who literally won them the Champions League just one season before, and replaced him with Graham Potter, a manager who, let's be honest, wasn't ready for a job this big. Then came the spending spree, but not on superstars. No, Boehly started splashing cash on names most fans had never even heard of. Omari Hutchinson, David Washington, Benoit Badiashile. Yeah, I didn't know them either. It got to a point where Chelsea's transfer strategy wasn't just being questioned, it was being mocked by fans and pundits alike.
I mean, how many players have they signed? 13 in this summer window? Something crazy like that? And yet they're no further forward again.
And as a result of all those weird transfers and dodgy decisions, Chelsea just kept sinking, both on and off the pitch. In the 2022-23 season, things hit a new low. They finished 12th in the Premier League. Yeah, 12th. One of the worst seasons in the club's entire history. Then in 2023-24, they improved a bit, but not by much. A 6th place finish, still no Champions League. This is Chelsea that we're talking about, by the way. The same club that used to be a regular at Europe's biggest nights. And on top of that, the manager situation was all over the place. They went from Graham Potter to Bruno Salter to Frank Lampard again. Yeah, he came back. But even that didn't last, and soon they brought in Mauricio Pochettino. But even with Poch, things were still messy. He was brought in to get Chelsea back into the Champions League, but all they managed was 6th again. No UCL, no clear direction, and still a squad full of players that didn't really fit together. And then Chelsea made a bold call. They brought in Enzo Maresca to take charge. But let's be real, nobody was hyped. There was no buzz, no big welcome. Most fans thought he was just another name on a long list of managers hired today, gone tomorrow. But Enzo, he had a vision. He believed in his team, and he was ready to prove the doubters wrong. Before he arrived, Chelsea had just grabbed a 6th place finish and were stuck in the UEFA Conference League, so Maresca got to work fast. He started clearing out the squad, got rid of players that didn't fit his style, and brought in names he believed could execute his plan, such as Pedro Neto, Jadon Sancho, and Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. On paper, it looked promising. But what about on the pitch? Well, his first game didn't do great. A 2-0 loss to Pep's Manchester City. Yeah, that Pep Guardiola, ironically the same man Maresca once worked under. But just 1 week later, Chelsea smashed Wolves 6-2. Then came a draw against Crystal Palace, followed by wins over Bournemouth, West Ham, and Brighton. So in his first 6 Premier League games, Maresca had 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. That's a 66.7% win rate. Not bad for a guy people barely gave a chance. And from the very start, you could see it. The football was cleaner, the players more connected, the system clear. By the end of the season, Chelsea had finished 4th, back in the Champions League after years of missing out. Sure, they crashed out of both the FA Cup and Carabao Cup early, but they ended the season with a trophy, winning the UEFA Conference League. And that made Chelsea the first club in history to win all 3 European competitions. Not to mention, it was also the Italians' first ever piece of silverware as the Chelsea manager. But that wasn't the end of the story, because after that season, Chelsea had one more mission, the FIFA Club World Cup. And once again, nobody gave them a chance. Going into the tournament, all eyes were on the giants: PSG, Real Madrid, Man City, Bayern Munich, and Chelsea, most people didn't even have them making it out of the semis. But if there's one thing football has taught us, then that is to never doubt the Blues. In 2011-2012, they won the Champions League, but everyone expected them to do it the least. In 2020-21, they did it again against all odds, and now in 2025, they were writing the next chapter. Another underdog story, another shot at history, and this time to become the first club to lift the expanded Club World Cup. Chelsea were drawn into Group D alongside Flamengo, Esperance Tunis, and LAFC, and they just about made it out, finishing second. In the round of 16, they comfortably took care of Benfica. No drama, just business. Then came the quarterfinals, where they got the better of Estevao's Palmeiras in a high-tempo clash. But right before the semis, Maresca pulled off something wild. He brought in Joao Pedro, who was literally on vacation in Brazil, and convinced him to fly out to the US to play for Chelsea in the Club World Cup. That move, it changed everything. And Maresca's gamble, it paid off instantly. In the semi-final against Fluminense, Joao Pedro's boyhood club by the way, he went absolutely crazy. 2 bangers, one from distance, one inside the box. Both hit with fire and purpose. Chelsea won it 2-0, and just like that, they were into the Club World Cup final, set to face PSG. But just before the final, everyone counted Chelsea out. The pundits, they didn't even hesitate. But Maresca, he didn't flinch. He believed in his team. They weren't here by accident, and they were ready to prove the world wrong one more time. In the final, Chelsea came out fearless, and it was clear. In the 22nd minute, Cole Palmer broke the deadlock with a brilliant strike past Donnarumma. At first, people thought, okay, PSG will hit back pretty soon. But just 8 minutes later, Palmer did it again. 2-0 Chelsea. Suddenly, the favourites were stunned. PSG were under pressure, and they looked clueless. No rhythm, no answers. Then right before the halftime, the man of the moment, Joao Pedro, struck again. A cheeky chip over Donnarumma made it 3-0 going into the break. And in the second half, Chelsea stayed composed, controlled, and dominated as a complete unit. PSG, they had no way through. Full-time whistle blows, Chelsea 3, PSG 0, world champions. From being laughed at to being written off to becoming world champions. Chelsea's journey under Enzo Maresca wasn't just about tactics or transfers. It was about belief. Belief in the project, belief in the players, belief that this club could rise again. In less than 2 seasons, Maresca took a broken squad and turned them into a team that outclassed Europe's elite. They didn't just win the Club World Cup, they made a statement to the world that Chelsea are back, and this time they're here to stay. And that is how Enzo Maresca led Chelsea from chaos to the top of the world. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe for more football stories, and till then, I'll catch you guys in the next one.